This is a letter to my mom. Dear Mom, do you know I used to hate going home? Because it reminds me of all the times I felt lonely and helpless. When I was younger, you were never home. You said you needed to work so that you could provide us with a better future. But how was I supposed to know? All I knew was that you were never around for me. Unlike other children, I didn't have a dad to turn to when I couldn't confide in my mom. All I had was you. Do you remember that one time when you were working overseas and you called home to check in with me and my sister? I was so excited when I picked up the phone. But after just 1 minute, you asked to talk to my sister. I went back to my room where I continued hearing my sister talk to you on the phone, laughing and giggling for the next half an hour. My auntie used to joke that you love my sister more than me, and I never took her seriously. But as more phone calls came through, I started to think that she might be right. As I think back about all the times where I waited for you alone at home and sat by the window, stared at the lift, hoping that the next person that walked out was you, resentment grew inside of me. Why should I care if you didn't? When I was 14 years old, I found something that could fill that void in my heart. Friendship. My friends never made me feel less important than anyone in the group. They always made time for me, never made me feel lonely. They shared their cigarettes and alcohol with me, and spending time with them made me forget those bitter memories at home. Do you remember what you did that time when you were on the bus to work and you spotted me hanging out with a group of heavily tattooed men? You alighted the bus and walked over to persuade me to go home in front of my friends. I felt embarrassed and annoyed at you for wanting to control my life and the type of friends I make. Why should I listen to you when you never made time to listen to me? As an act of rebellion, I went to get my first tattoo at the age of 16. I remember that day after I got my tattoo, I went home, took off my shirt, and I showed it to you. When you saw my tattoo, I could see the color drain from your face. You started crying and asked me why I was doing this. I stared at you blankly, shrugged my shoulders, and I went back to my room. I resented you for not spending time with me, but ironically, I started to do the same. I either spent most of my time locked in my room or left the house early and came home late just to avoid talking to you. You scolded me for treating the house like a hotel, but didn't you do the same when I was younger? Do you remember that one time I got into deep trouble? I'm sure you do. It was 2 a.m. I was on the way home with 2 of my friends from Geylang. Our Uber got stopped due to a roadblock, and police found 3 knives on us. And just right before I got arrested, the last thing I saw on my phone was that 7th missed call you left me. It was my first time in handcuffs, and I could vividly recall that cold, hard metal biting into my wrists every time I moved my hands. I was terrified, and I didn't know what to do. But contrary to what I was expecting, you came to bail me out the next day. And instead of scolding me, all you said was, "Let's go home, shall we?" All I ever wanted was for you to spend a little more time with me and show me that you cared. But as a rebellious young kid, I didn't tell you that not only because of my ego and inability to express myself, but also because I thought you didn't care. But it was only after this, then I realized that you actually did. You worked twice as hard when you were younger because you knew if you didn't, my sister and I would never have been able to attend school. When you called home, you always asked for my sister because you knew I didn't know how to express myself. you wanted to know how I was doing through her. When you alighted the bus that day after seeing me, you weren't trying to control my life. You were trying to show me that you were still there for me. You got so upset when I did my first tattoo, but you didn't give up on me even after I got my whole body tattooed. And I thought you would surely give up on me when I got my first police case. But once again, you didn't. I was so caught up thinking about myself that I was blinded by all the things that you have done for me. I've always thought you've given up on me, but in fact, you never did. I know I haven't been the best son growing up, and I'm grateful that you never gave up on me. You're the strongest woman I've ever known, because not only did you have to overcome adversities in life single-handedly, but you also had to make sure that you instilled the right values in us. I don't know how you do it, but you show me that with a positive mindset and a never give up attitude, one can achieve anything. And I don't want you to blame yourself for the past, because I would never become who I am today if I didn't went through that phase in my life. Be proud instead. The persistence guided me to find that light in the dark tunnel and steered me back in the right direction. Without you, I would still be that lost kid who remains ensnared in his past. In 2 days' time, I'll be moving back to Singapore, back to the same house, the same room, and the same view of the lift by the window. But unlike 15 years ago, this time, I'm looking forward to going home. And you don't know this yet, but I'll be giving this letter to you as your Mother's Day gift this year. Thank you for not giving up on me.